Hello, Thursday. How you feeling today? Not Thursday. How are you feeling today on this Thursday as we draw a little bit closer to the weekend? We're glad to have you. Welcome to the program here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone, on this Thursday afternoon. My name is Craig Way. Glad to have you with us. Alongside the producer, Cameron D. Parker. The D on the birth certificate stands for Dallas, as in the favorite NFL team of his that he refuses to watch because he is disgusted. Maybe that's what the D stands for, disgusted right now. You're disgusted by the Cowboys. Is that the deal? Disgusted by Jerry Jones.
Actually, I'm delighted in Jerry Jones' comments because he continues to just dig himself into a deeper hole. I haven't seen one person even try and defend Jerry Jones's comments. Usually when stuff like this happens, you have you get
two
the yin
sides.
and yang side of it, right? It's all anti-Jerry. All anti-Jerry.
So the D would stand for delighted, because you're delighted that Jerry's having to squirm a bit.
Mm-hmm. We are.
Right.
We are. It also might stand for the dogs, because the dogs are coming to Austin Saturday. We just found out our college game day picker is two-time master champion Scotty Schaefer. Excited for that.
The number one ranked golfer in the world to do the picking, which will include the number one college football team in the nation as part of the choices, obviously. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that dynamic, when the ESPN College Game Day crew is on site, they have, of course, their guys who do Reese Davis, although he doesn't pick. But
no, he doesn't pick.
No, he does like an underdog thing or whatever, but he doesn't
kind of
pick.
picks, but he's not picking.
Yeah, and then obviously there's Desmond Howard, and there's Pat McAfee, and there's Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit. But since Kirk Herbstreit is working the telecast with Chris Fowler, he doesn't actually pick the game that he's working. So to prevent any appearance of impropriety or anything like that. So he doesn't make a selection on the game at hand that he's working, but he'll pick the other games as well. So they're all doing that. And then they have a guest picker, a guest selector. And it's usually someone affiliated with in some way, shape, or form, most notably and most of the time because they're an alumnus. Not always, but most of the time. And in this case, it's going to be Scotty Scheffler doing the picking there. So that'll be fun. That'll be on Saturday morning. And of course, the game itself comes your way Saturday evening, and you can hear it right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Our coverage begins with our Longhorns Game Day programming at 3:30 Saturday afternoon, 3 hours prior to kick, 3:30. And then the network pregame is 1 hour out. But at 3:30, over at the Hook'em Hangout on Bevo Boulevard in the Winship Circle, will be Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Harge, and Mark Henry. They'll set the scene for you there from 3:30 to 5:30. At 5:30, we have the network pregame. Roger Wallace and Will Matthews joining me for that. And then we'll have the call of the game for you. So big week, big weekend in this town, with also the F1 race going on. I dare you to find a hotel room for less than $1,000.
Oh my goodness.
If you can find one at all, that is. It's going to be a little bit difficult. But we have other things to get to on the program as well. Certainly, we're going to have some breakdown on Texas, Georgia. We'll hear from Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian. Sark with his final local media availability of the week. So he'll have that. And that's from the weekly Zoom that he does with the area and national reporters. So we'll have highlights and comments of that throughout the course of the program this afternoon. So there's that. We also have Inconceivable later this hour, another fast food update for you in Inconceivable. We have that. Additionally, we'll hear from Texas men's basketball coach Rodney Terry and Texas women's head coach Vic Schaefer on the eve of their seasons getting underway in less than a month. So we'll hear from those guys. We'll talk NFL football. There is a Thursday night NFL game tonight. Who's the Thursday night game tonight? You remember?
If you ask me, hold on. Oh, it's a real barn burner. Sean Payton's return to New Orleans. Broncos Saints.
Okay.
Bo Nix for Spencer Rattler.
Okay. All right. So anyway, so there's that. There are college games tonight, and also in addition to that, high school football around the area. In fact, I'll be working the telecast with Roger Wallace, who will be on the play-by-play call of the game on KBVO tonight, which is Hendrickson with an unenviable task, trying to pull off an upset of third-ranked and unbeaten A&M Consolidated. That is tonight. So that's going on tonight. But there's other Thursday games as well, Thursday games on the college scene. So, and there's baseball. There's baseball early this evening and later this evening. The American League Championship Series has shifted to Cleveland, where the New York Yankees hold a 2-0 lead on the Cleveland Guardians. And so game 3 tonight used to be called Progressive Field. It's called something else, isn't it? I don't think it's still called Progressive, is it?
It's something really stupid, right? Just like Guardians is stupid. No, it is Progressive Field because it used to be called. What was it called before? It was called Jacobs Field before, right?
It was. Initially, it was called Jacobs Field. That's where
That's what I remember what it was called, and I think it's Progressive.
Jake. Now it's Progressive Field. Okay. So they play, I believe they're starting at 5:30, I think, or 5. And then
4:08 Central Time.
4:08 Central Time. Okay. All right.
First pitch, 4:08 Central Time.
Yeah. Okay. So that's game 3 with the Yankees leading the Guardians 2-0. And then later this evening is game 4 of the National League Championship Series, the Dodgers and the Mets in New York. Los Angeles pitched another shutout last night. They won 8-0. Shohei Ohtani hit a ball that might have landed in Manhattan. He hit it in Queens. It was just crushed one. It's amazing what his numbers are when he's got runners on base and when the bases are empty. When the bases are empty in the postseason, this postseason, Shohei Ohtani's first postseason, when the bases are empty, he's 0 for 22. When there are runners, I believe in scoring position is the way it's. When his runners in scoring position, he's 7 out of 9 at the plate.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So anyway,
the other way around, that's for sure.
And the Dodgers got some badly needed effective starting pitching last night out of Walker Buehler, and then 4 relievers to pitch the shutout. Los Angeles becoming the 3rd team in big league history to have 3 postseason shutouts and tying that mark. So tonight, the Mets will try to counter, and with Quintana on the mound, and the Dodgers are going to bring back Yoshinobu Yamamoto, I believe, on 1 day's less rest than what he's normally accustomed to doing. It's not it would be a regular turn on regular rest in the rotation. They had been giving him an extra day or 2 or whatever, but no luxury for that right now because the Mets still have the edge in the starting pitching. But the Dodgers are going to be pushed to see if they can go 3 straight days pushing that bullpen because that's what they did last night. They got 5 bullpen innings last night. They have to do it tonight and then tomorrow before the series would shift back to LA if the Mets win either tonight or tomorrow to force a game 6. So anyway, that's the baseball stuff at stake, and we'll have more on that coming up and some more college football things to get to as well. So plenty on tap today, and as always, happy to have your input, your thoughts, your comments, your questions. All you have to do is access the text line. What you do is you text the word Texas or followed by your question or comment. You text the word Texas, then after that word, your question or comment to 81530. So text the word Texas, followed by your question or comment to 81530. Standard messaging and data rates may apply. Up next, we're going to hear from Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and where you always listen to us for free on the iHeartRadio app.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns play here. Touchdown, Texas. This week, join us for the game as the Longhorns take on Georgia, the only place for Longhorns football. Join us every week for Longhorns Game Day with Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Harge, and Mark Henry 2 hours before the game. Then join the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way, for the game. The Longhorns play here. Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Dollar. That's dollar. Enter it now.
AM 1300, The Zone.
Hey, there's good news for homeowners. The Fed has finally cut rates. Did you hear about that? Well, Loan Pronto has slashed their mortgage rates to 2-year lows. Loan Pronto really is the best. They're the leader in low-cost, super fast mortgage loans. And Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.59% APR. That's the lowest in 2 years. Whether you got your home loan last month or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto and dump that high-rate loan. You can lower your house payment by hundreds of dollars a month. With Loan Pronto, you can lock in a lower rate very fast with virtually no paperwork and usually no appraisal. There's no limit on how many times you can refi. So why not get started? Even if you're in process with another lender, give Loan Pronto a call. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Purchase loans, VA, and FHA loans as well. Call 512-298-4600. LoanPronto.com. That's 512-298-4600 or LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
New South Window lives southern weather. We prioritize keeping your family and your home comfortable all year round. That's why our energy-efficient windows and doors are made, installed, and guaranteed for life.
Save 35% off. Visit newsouthwindow.com/radio.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Billshappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news. I went to billshappen.com and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Introducing Love Austin. Professional volleyball like you have never seen it before. You saw them on silver in Paris this summer. Now you can see them playing for the first time on American soil. Love Austin Volleyball will feature some of the best players in the world, including 2-time Olympic medalist Chiaka Abagu. Get ready for First Serve on January 15th at the HEB Center. Visit LOVB.com for tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Mark, you're late. We agreed we'd meet at the gym.
Sorry, I just don't have the energy I did a few years ago.
Could be low testosterone.
Low testosterone?
It happens, especially after 40. I was feeling the same way, so I started taking clomiphene from Zelfie. It helps boost testosterone and made a huge difference for me.
I thought testosterone replacement therapies had risks.
And clomiphene isn't testosterone replacement therapy. There's no injections. It's a simple daily pill that boosts your body's natural production of testosterone.
This helps you?
And clomiphene can double your testosterone levels. Since taking it, I'm building lean muscle. I'm also sleeping better, plus other benefits in the bedroom. It's easy to try. Plus, send them a text right now and get 40% off.
Text DOUBLE to 200-300 to find out if you qualify for enclomiphene from Zelfie. Don't wait. Text DOUBLE to 200-300 right now and get 40% off. Enclomiphene can double your testosterone levels, and it's 100% online and shipped directly to your door. Text DOUBLE to 200-300. That's double to 200-300.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Thomas J. Henry has been featured in Forbes magazine, Fortune magazine, and Bloomberg Business Week for securing record-breaking results for clients injured in accidents. For more info or to start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com. San Antonio, Texas.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Did you know you have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe? DebtBlue has helped people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit card debt. They can help with payment relief, the burden of rising inflation, and have a large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we're so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the DebtBlue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there's absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-375-1158. That's 800-375-1158. The call is free. The consultation is free. The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now. 800-375-1158. 800-375-1158.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
October sports action is heating up, and BetOnline.net is your #1 source for everything football and baseball playoffs. With every stat, matchup breakdown, and even live odds and spreads during the games. BetOnline.net also has all the odds for mixed martial arts, to esports, to entertainment, and political props. Don't forget to check out their casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or one of their 150 slot games. Visit the website today. Bet Online. The game starts here.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Southern Rock Ride. The greatest Southern rock hits from the 70s and 80s. Skinner, 38 Special, Allman Brothers, and more. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Southern Rock Ride, and listen now. Free never sounded so good.
It's the Morning Kickoff Show with Mike Hardball Harsh and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
Thursday afternoon edition of the program. Glad to have you with us up until 5 o'clock this afternoon. And, of course, we'll close out the week tomorrow and get you ready for this huge weekend for the Texas-Georgia game. It's an F1 race weekend. High school football's turning toward the real crunch time in district play with district games. You got a pretty big game tomorrow night that you're calling on, don't you?
I'll be at the field like you'll be tonight. So maybe leave some leftovers for me.
We'll try not to trash
fridge.
out the booth too much since you have Liberty Hill Pflugerville tomorrow night.
That'll be fun. A pair of 5-1 teams. Liberty Hill, of course, 3 straight appearances to at least the state semifinals under Coach Kent Walker. In a Pflugerville team, 5-1 under Coach Charles Taylor, who's building off of last year's playoff berth, and this year on a upward trajectory. So should be a fun game. I know Liberty Hill is favored. Their offense has been fantastic this season, but they have given up some points on defense as well. So should be a fun race tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be indeed. And it'll be a lot of fun on Saturday night, Texas and Georgia. This was Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian's final weekly media availability. Of course, last night we recorded Longhorn Weekly with Coach Sark out at Pluckers, the West Campus location, and you'll hear that program tonight at 7 o'clock. We record it on Wednesdays and it airs on Thursdays at 7. So you will hear that program tonight at 7 o'clock. But in terms of the media availability today, let's hear some of the thoughts from Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian, starting with Sark's opening comments.
Exciting week here on the 40 acres. You think about all that's happening in Austin this weekend with
the F1 race, with College Game Day coming to town, with Sports Center coming to Austin, shooting from the 40 acres is also shooting from the racetrack. And then ultimately the ball game Saturday night, which I know that all of Longhorn Nation is excited about. I know our team is excited about. But the one thing I've learned a lot about our team again this week has been their appreciation for preparation. And when I say that, it's their belief in the blueprint and the formula for success, and coming to work every day with a workman-like mentality, to understand the plan, to practice the way we expect them to practice to that standard, and put themselves in a position to perform. And I feel like that's what we've done this week. And now we got to go find out here Saturday night.
Yeah, he did mention, by the way, that was another thing I did not mention, that ESPN is bringing Sports Center down, not just College Game Day. I think it's Kevin Nagandi and Elle Duncan who are anchoring from the UT campus on Friday, tomorrow on Sports Center, and then Nicole Briscoe, who's certainly one of their motorsports authorities, and I forgot who's with her, but she's out at Coda to do Sports Center as well. So yeah, it's kind of the center of the universe a little bit. Sark was also asked in getting ready for this matchup about the season that Vernon Broughton is having. Remember when we were going into the season and it was coming off a year where Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy had really big seasons, and they were talking about continuing that interior defensive line, high quality play that had been like that, and would it continue like that? And I said, well, it was said, it wasn't just me, it was several people that said, well, the two guys would really kind of have to fill in the gap would be Alfred Collins and Vernon Broughton. And Vernon Broughton's having a marvelous season. He's forced a couple of fumbles, recovered a fumble, and he's just really plugged the gap. So Sark was asked about this season that Broughton is having.
I'm really proud of Vernon. The guys come into our program and they develop over time, and for him to put in the work. And you think about when Keandre Coburn was here and Moro Ojimo, Tavondre Sweat, Byron Murphy, and he continued to stay the course. And I'm just very proud of him that he's continued to mature in his time here. He's developed into a really good leader on our team, and then his play is showing. And he's become a every down player for us. He's not just a specialty pass rusher. He's playing well against the run. He's still very effective against the pass. And his effort is at an all-time high, where you're just seeing the fumble recoveries again, and just the way he's playing the game. So I couldn't be more proud of him.
I guess marriage must be agreeing with him as well, since he's a newlywed. So that's worked out for Vernon Broughton. Sark has made no bones about the fact that he's a fan of boxing. And as such, he was asked about, does he construct his game plan similar to a boxing match? And for that matter, who has been his all-time favorite boxer?
Sugar Ray Leonard has always been a favorite boxer of mine. It was one of my first fights I can remember was Sugar Ray versus Roberto Duran. So I remember that fight. I was a huge fan of that era of boxers with Marvin Hagler and Thomas Hearns and those guys. I also became a fan of the heavyweights when Mike Tyson was a heavyweight and Evander Holyfield was a heavyweight. But I think just like in boxing, in football, like you have to have a game plan. And guys try to go out and execute that game plan. And then you have to be willing to adjust, right? I mean, it's like anything. You go into a boxing match and coming out in the opening round and a guy starts fighting you southpaw, you better be ready to adjust. And I think football is very similar to that. We have to have a game plan, and then we have to have the willingness to adjust, but we got to make sure that we throw our best punches too, that we can't always just react to the opponent, that we've got to throw our best punches as well.
I don't think I've ever told this story on the air before, and I'm going to tell it right now, and then I'll go back to the cuts bit. My own path crossing with Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was, like in the case of Sark, he was one of the boxers I really, really liked. He won the middleweight championship, I guess it was, on my 21st birthday. It was I think it was either the No Moss fight or it was the one with Hagler. I think it was Hagler. I think it was with Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Might have been. But anyway, he won it on my 21st birthday. That very same night, I was playing in the Lubbock City Championship for putt-putt on the old style putt-putt course. And I finished in second on that night. So that was all really nice, memorable memories and all that. 6 years later, I'm doing a radio show down at Reunion Arena in Dallas. And it's this big charity auction carnival thing. And they had a lot of celebrities, Mavericks. The Stars were not in Dallas at that time. But Mavericks, Dallas Cowboys, Texas Rangers had a lot of difference. And then they had some other big name stars. And one of those was Sugar Ray Leonard. And Sugar Ray came over and did an interview with me, and he was really good. But he didn't stop there, because after I was done, he was really hitting on my wife.
Wow.
It was amazing. So my wife at the time, God rest her soul, Laurie was there with me, and we'd been married 1 year, and she was invited to come down too. So she was just sitting there, and we get done. I saw him kind of say something to her and chatting with her a little before we got started. I didn't think anything of it. So we get done. I'm still on the air. He takes the headset off. I'm looking over there, and he's like really engaged in all that kind of thing. I was like, hitting on her? We got to a commercial break, and then he left, and I said, "Was he hitting on?" She goes, "Oh yeah." So he was saying, like, what are you doing after this event? And she's like, "Well, I'm going to go home with my husband." "Where's your husband?"
Goodness.
"Right there, the guy who just interviewed." "Oh, well, I mean, and he's like trying to
Goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my brush with Sugar Ray Leonard back then, back in the 80s. All right. More from Sark. And she did not
go back.
She didn't go with him. She did not reciprocate. She left with me afterwards, and that was a good thing. Anyway, Sark was asked about how the defense makes the offense better and vice versa. His defense making his offense better, and how his offense makes his defense better. And how does facing the Texas defense, going up against the offense in practice, help prepare them for Carson Beck and what Georgia is going to do with its passing attack?
Well, I think it's helpful in that we do a lot of good on good, and our practices in training camp are very competitive. We do good on good every week to keep ourselves fresh in the speed of the game to where it needs to be. And I do think it's helpful for our guys to have to guard Isaiah Bond and Matt Golden and DeAndre Moore and Jonte and Silas and Ryan Wingo, and all those guys can run. All those guys can stretch the field. And I think it's really good for our DBs to have to go against quarterbacks like Quinn and Arch and guys who can make all those throws. And because that's what Carson Beck is. He's got elite weapons on the outside that can run, and he can make all of the throws. And so to have to defend all of the field for our secondary and for our linebackers is going to be critical here Saturday night.
Okay. These media availabilities on Thursdays, these Zoom media availabilities, by and large, when you look at the grid, because you're on it every week, Cam, you see the grid, and what would you say would be the ratio or percentage of local and area media as opposed to outside, regional and national media?
I mean, the only national guys I'll ever see on those Zooms will either be Sam Kahn from The Athletic, and then maybe an ESPN.
You see Heather Dinich sometimes, and you'll see some other, but you're right. It's about 90%, maybe even more so. The reason why I bring this up is because the local media gets into more esoteric questions sometimes. Sure, they'll ask the nuts and bolts and the injury stuff, and we'll hear that coming up. But they will also ask Sark, like, for example, the boxing thing and some of the other stuff. And they also asked him kind of a follow-up to what Sark was saying about Quinn Ewers a couple of weeks back when he was still banged up, and said, "I fully expect Quinn to be fine, to come back, and to be in New York for the Heisman," which should have served notice to anybody who was trying to stir the pot in any way, shape, or form that there was a quarterback conundrum or question or, dare we say it, controversy, all that other kind of stuff. And Sark was quickly putting all that to bed, saying, "No, I fully expect him to be in New York." So the follow-up about, I guess, 3 weeks later, question for Sark was, Quinn Ewers making it to New York for the Heisman ceremony that he referenced 3 weeks ago. Is that still a tangible goal?
I love it. I love all of our head coaches. I love all of our teams and sports that we have. I think CDC's done an incredible job of assembling the best coaching staff in the country. And, we go on a head coaches retreat once a year I'm just somewhat in awe of, this. Well, I think individual accolades, awards, honors are a byproduct of team success. And so, if he's in New York in December, it's probably because we won a lot of games and maybe won every game. And so, I don't think it's on, we should feel that it's about what Quinn does. I think, yes, we need to win. And if we're going to win, it probably means that he played pretty well in some really big games. And I think at the end, that's a reality. But there's a lot of work to be done between now and then. But like I said, we have a firm belief around here that team success is what promotes individual accolades, awards, and honors.
And if you ask Quinn Ewers, he'll pretty much say the same thing about my team winning and all that. But Sark does make a good point. A plus B equals C. It would probably follow if they are still unbeaten, if they are playing really, really, really well, and if Quinn is doing his part, good chance he's going to be mentioned in the conversation of possibly getting that invite to New York. Coming up next, and we'll hear more from Sark next hour talking about this matchup with Georgia, get an injury update from him, and some other things as well. So we'll do all that next hour as well. But up next, Inconceivable for a Thursday afternoon on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Your Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone show hosts are looking good. Want to know how we know? It's time. Y'all ready? Because the Hard Knocks Life and the Craig Way Show have live video streams, faces for radio, and the digital screen.
It's main event time. It's going down.
Find us on Facebook at AM 1300 The Zone.
Resiliency is defined by Webster's dictionary as the state or quality of being able to adjust to or recover readily from adversity. Last Saturday afternoon in Dallas, as it annually appears in the Red River rivalry matchup with Oklahoma, the Texas Longhorns did face adversity. An early interception, third play from scrimmage, in fact, and two more inefficient offensive drives handed Oklahoma a 3-0 lead by the end of the first quarter. But the Texas defense spearheaded the resiliency to respond to the adversity. A touchdown drive put the Longhorns in front 7-3, and even when adversity arrived on a big offensive play, the Horns had a resilient response. One series later, the Texas defense added more of its impact. And on the very next play, Trey Wisner, for whom adversity struck with the fumble, demonstrated his own resilience. The Longhorns rolled on from there to a 34-3 win over Oklahoma, maintaining their unbeaten record now at 6-0 at the midway mark of the season and their #1 national ranking in the polls. Now comes a challenge of a different sort. The 5th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs, a perennial national giant, coming to Austin in need of a win to stay near the top of the SEC standings. And Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian is hoping that not only will his players be ready, but also the home crowd that has been buzzing about this game for months. It's the game folks have pointed to since the SEC schedule was released months ago, and now it is at hand. For the first time since 1958, the Georgia Bulldogs are in Austin. It's Texas and Georgia coming up on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield. I thought it'd be about 90 seconds, that part of resilience. Resilience is defined by whether to recover readily from. Last Saturday afternoon matchup with Oklahoma, the Texas Longhorns did face adversity. An early interception, third adversity, a touchdown drive in play. The Horns had a resilient response. Defensive play, the Horn play But Sark was asked about his process of building a call sheet for a game.
I love putting a call sheet together. I think, it's a blank canvas for us, and we start on Sunday and we start going as a staff, pass game, run game, pass game, screens, specials. And we do the bulk of our base game planning on Monday and Tuesday. And that thing starts filling up. And then we start working ourselves into third down and red area and backed up and 2 minute. And then we start talking about must calls through as practice goes and the stuff we really like. And then we start formulating our openers. And then I get a chance to visit with the quarterbacks, Friday night. And then depending on when kickoff is, sometimes I like to stay up Friday nights, kind of late working on it. There's other days I'll kind of pause in the middle of it and get up early in the morning and have a cup of coffee and just start formulating my thoughts. And I just keep trying to play the game forward. And what would it look like if this situation or that situation, and ensuring certain players are getting enough touches so that they can find their rhythm. So all that's just kind of the playing the chess match before you actually sit down at the table. But that's the fun part for me. Like I love that aspect of it all.
Now, this is obviously quite the environment this week here in Austin. You have this game, number 1 against number 5 in the country. There's the F1 race going on. You have ESPN's College Game Day here on Saturday morning. ESPN itself will send 2 crews to anchor Sports Center throughout the weekend here in Austin, beginning tomorrow with I believe it's Kevin Nagandi and El Duncan who are going to be anchoring on campus. And then there'll be a crew out at CODA, including, I think Nicole Briscoe will be out there, one of the anchors for Sports Center over the weekend. So there's a lot going into this. Sark was asked by our colleague Roger Wallace about the impact that a crowd can have. And he cited Tennessee breaking a record for sound and noise against Georgia last year. And Roger asked that of Sark about how big a factor would a crowd be that could be that noisy this time around.
That's awesome. I didn't know that stat. Tennessee against Georgia broke the record. Okay. I think for us, it's a huge component. I think in my time here through 4 years, DKR has created an environment that has become intimidating, that has become loud. Our students do a fantastic job, but I think in this game, especially, we need more than our students. We need everybody in this ball game. It should be a rocking environment. We need to make it as difficult as we can on Georgia. And I think our fans can do that. I know I've heard it really loud before. And most notably, I remember hearing it really loud against Alabama in 2022. I heard it really loud at the end of that Kansas State game last year. My goal is that it's that loud for 4 quarters Saturday night. And then my goal is when I sit in my press conference after the game, you tell me, Roger, that we broke that record that Tennessee set against Georgia last year.
Yeah, that'd be a nice goal to try to set, to try to see if we could do something off that. A couple more things from Sark. One is for the second time this season, he'll have a player going up against his former school. Remember when Texas played UTSA and there was all the conversation about Trey Moore, who transferred in from UTSA? Same story here, but slightly different wrinkle to it. Bill Norton, the Longhorn senior defensive tackle transfer in from Arizona, actually began his career at Georgia. In fact, Kirby Smart had really complimentary things to say about Bill Norton in his news conference earlier this week, how he had really emerged as a special teams player and was in the rotation along the defensive front. He transferred to Arizona and then, of course, came along with Johnny Nansen to Texas. So Sark was asked about, did he have any kind of conversation with Bill Norton about going up against his old team like he did with Trey Moore before they played UTSA?
Yeah, I think Bill's a little bit more of a unique situation in the fact that, when he left Georgia, he went to Arizona and then left Arizona, has come here, which I think now has become more of the norm, right? Guys kind of going to a couple different schools. I know he's got a ton of respect for that program. They recruited him. They had obviously great defensive linemen when he was there. And he's done a really nice job for us. He's a big man inside. I think he's really grown into our style of play. And it's been, I think that's why our run defense has really started to step itself up, just because of that middle can get difficult to run on. And that allows guys like Anthony and Leonga and David Benda kind of to fly around because he's taken up multiple blockers.
Okay. And then one more from Sark. And this is about getting his team ready to play a Georgia team that played Alabama in that epic game a couple of weeks ago. And he was asked, what were his thoughts about Georgia, his takeaway about Georgia from their loss to Alabama?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of an anomaly early on. It was kind of an avalanche early in the game. There was a lot of turnovers, a lot of 3rd and long type situations Georgia was in that forced, had them behind the sticks. And to Alabama's credit, they kind of jumped on them, and they were using Milroe's legs and so on and so forth. The one thing I took from the game is, Georgia's got the heart of a champion, and the way they fought back in that second half, the way they competed, I was super impressed. And I was impressed watching it live. I got a chance to watch the second half of that game. I was impressed watching the tape now. And I don't know if it was necessarily straight adjustments. I mean, they obviously had to just start kind of throwing the ball to get back into the game. But more importantly, I just felt like it was the heart of a champion that showed up. And that's something for us to hold on to going into Saturday night. Regardless of how this game goes, it's going to be a 4-quarter game.
All right, so there it is. The thoughts from Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian from today's media Zoom. Now, a reminder, we'll bring you Longhorn Weekly with Coach Sark tonight at 7 o'clock. That's the program we recorded last night, and we always record it on Wednesday nights at Pluckers, and we recorded at Pluckers, and then on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7, and then it airs from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock on Thursday night. So it'll be on tonight at 7 o'clock. Yankees and Guardians are still scoreless. Each team stranded 2 runners in the first inning. Yankees had runners at first and second. Guardians had runners at second and third. And both teams stranded 2 runners in the first inning. So they're 1 in the books in Game 3 in the ALCS. Yankees lead that series 2-0. No score going to the top of the second there at Progressive Field. Up next, we'll hear from Longhorn men's basketball coach Rodney Terry. We'll continue on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. The Longhorns play here. This week, join us for the game as the Longhorns take on Georgia, the only place for Longhorns
assessment.
And at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Hey, Texas fans, Hardball Harge here. Are you ready for an action-packed season? Thomas J. Henry Law is thrilled to be a part of the action, sponsoring all Texas football game broadcasts. The athletes give it their all on the field. Thomas J. Henry and over 250 attorneys give it their all when it comes to helping you and your families get the justice you deserve. Whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, dedication, strategy, and teamwork is crucial. For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry Law has been committed to securing meaningful results for the injured people and their families. This year, they're inviting the communities that they serve to join in celebrating 30 years of client success with major community events and giveaways. After all, their law firm would be nothing without the communities and the individuals they serve. Visit tjhlaw.com to find out more. If you or your loved one have been injured, their attorneys are available 24/7 to help you. They have a reputation and resources that can handle any case. Free consultations with no fees collected unless they win for you. Watch all the heart-pounding Texas action this season, sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Law. Tune in, get pumped. It's all about the win.
It's the morning kickoff show with Mike Hardball Harge and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Only on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
Thursday afternoon, getting you ready for a weekend of football. That's why we're about to bring you some basketball conversation. And also to let you know that the Yankees have just taken the lead on the Cleveland Guardians with an RBI single in the top of the second. And they have runners on the corners with one out. So New York is up 1-0 in the top half of the second inning. And again, of course, the Yankees have a 2-0 lead in that best of 7 series. All right. Just as was the case, and we heard last hour, Texas women's head coach Vic Schaefer from SEC basketball media days. Same story for the men. Longhorns head coach Rodney Terry was there as well. Some thoughts from Coach Terry, starting off with his opening comments.
It's a great day to be alive. I said that to my guys this morning. We practice every morning, and it's the first thing I say to our guys, because it truly is a great day to be alive every day, to get a chance to do what we have a passion to do in terms of myself coaching, them getting a chance to play, continue to educate themselves and be a more well-rounded person. So it is truly a great day to be alive. We're excited about joining the SEC. I mean, it's a league that I know our fan base is super excited about. I'd be remiss, though, not to thank the Big 12 for our 28 years. I was a part of the first year of the Big 12 as an assistant at Baylor University. We had some great years in that league, but we're excited about where we're going and what we're doing as we embark on a new journey in terms of our basketball slate in the SEC. Have a tremendous amount of respect for Garth and Commissioner Sankey. They've done an incredible job with their leadership, building the premier, we think, basketball league in the country. So getting a chance to compete in this league from top to bottom, leaving the Big 12, it's not going to be any kind of drop off. I mean, we have great coaches, you have great players, we have great venues in this league, and we're super excited about being a part of it. I think in terms of the media, I like to think that we're going to have a program that's very accessible. Myself being very accessible to you guys, my players being accessible to you guys on a regular basis, and again, just trying to be very, very forefront in terms of what we bring to the table every day, and having a lot of integrity with what we do and how we do it. I'll open the floor for any questions from that point.
All right, let's get to the questions. And right out of the gate, you knew this was coming. Being in the SEC means playing Ole Miss. Playing Ole Miss means matching up with his old boss and friend, Chris Beard, the former Texas coach who's now at Ole Miss, and he was asked about that dynamic going up against Coach Beard and Ole Miss this season.
Chris Beard and I go way, way back. You're talking about 25 years of friendship. One of my really, really close friends in the business. I wouldn't have this opportunity here at Texas, if he wasn't kind enough to bring me back to Texas. I mean, previously I was with Rick Barnes for 9 years at Texas, and got a chance to come back and embark on a second stint at Texas, and with the hope that we're going to get a chance to build a national championship team, a team that gets a chance to play on Monday night. But he and I, our friendship, we're still really close right now. We still talk and communicate at a high level, talk about other opponents, other than ourselves, and things of that nature. But you talk about a great person and a great coach. Chris Beard's that kind of guy.
He was also asked about trying to lay the foundation for his program in year one in the SEC.
This league, I think, again, we're built for it in terms of our culture. I think it's a league, again, that, there are going to be nights where you have to be really physical. There are going to be nights where you're going to have to really try to score the basketball. There are going to be nights where you have to really take care of the basketball. And from top to bottom, there are no nights off in this league. I alluded to the fact earlier that they're great coaches that have taken their teams to the Final Four. And there's been great players in this league, and obviously a lot of really good intimate environments to play in that'll be great venues.
And then he was asked about some of the specifics with regard to his players, starting with the addition of Tremont Mark, who had been at Arkansas, and what he adds to his program.
Well, I'm a native Texan, so I've seen Tremont play a long time. I remember when he was in the 8th grade and he was coming up, and my dad coached at his high school that he played in that year, his high school years. But my dad got fired from that job and didn't get a chance to coach Tremont, but knew he was a really good young talent coming. So I've seen him for a very, very long time. He's a youngster who has tremendous size, athleticism. He can go create his own shot. He can create for his teammates. Very good high IQ basketball player. He's had a chance to compete, be coached by some really good coaches. So he's been coached very well. He's had a chance to start on the Final Four team at the University of Houston. So he's a guy that, we look to bring a lot of experience, a guy that plays on both ends of the floor. He's a really good offensive player, but he's also a really good defensive player as well. So you talk about a guy that, we like to think that's going to be a great two-way player for us.
All right. Then he was asked about his two Indiana State transfers, Jason Kent, the 6'8" forward transferring in, and then Julian Larry, who can run the point and can play. It can be very, very versatile with the guard spot. So the two former Indiana State Sycamores who managed to get all the way to the NIT finals a year ago.
We're a team that returned 6, returners from last year. So we got a little bit of continuity from last year. We have 6 new guys from the portal, and we have 4 freshmen. So we've got a great blend, great mix. And adding the 2 guys from Indiana State, talk about 2 guys that have played. Jason played there 2 years. Julian got a chance to play 4 years there. You talk about 2 guys that are really, really familiar with each other. And when they're on the floor, they're really in sync together all the time, whether it be from an offensive standpoint, defensive standpoint. But I think the 2 guys, too, that come into this season with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They didn't get a chance to compete in the NCAA tournament a year ago. They went and had a deep run in the NIT where they played in the finals and lost in NIT. I think, again, 2 guys that are getting the chance to play at this level for the first time. They're not entitled. They're excited about every day. They're excited about competing on this stage and showing people that they can compete at the highest level. So, I'm excited about what those guys bring to the table. Julian Larry is a guy who comes in and he brings a lot of energy and a lot of joy to our team every day with just his energy and presence on both ends of the floor. He's a guy that's going to be able to initiate offense. He's going to be able to play defense at a high level for us. You talk about, Jason is a guy who should be one of the elite cutters in all of college basketball. great instincts. He's a guy that also should be a really good rebounder for us, and he can stretch the floor from the forward position for us as well.
And then finally, one other comment from him. This about the highly heralded freshman guard, Trey Johnson, who, of course, was from Garland, actually played at Lake Highlands, then finished up the prep school at Link Academy in Missouri, preseason freshman of the year in the SEC. And he was asked what Trey Johnson will supply and provide this year.
Trey, again, I alluded to the fact that we have 6 returners and, 6 guys from the portal, 4 freshmen. So we got 10 new players. And, again, a blend of old and a blend of new and young. And, he being one of the young guys and a guy that I think, again, media wants to get familiar with. He's a guy that's deserving of being here today. He's an extremely talented player. He's a top 5 player in the country last year in his class. He's been the best player in his class in the state of Texas his entire career. He's a guy that we think fits our culture at a very high level in terms of what he brings to the table. Super competitive, a kid that wants to get better every day. He's proud of being from the state of Texas and representing, Texas at the flagship program. And he's a super competitor. I got a chance to coach Kevin Durant for 1 year at Texas, and he and Kevin have a lot of things that kind of cut from the same cloth in terms of incredible work ethic. Is a guy that we have to literally push him out of the gym. He's in the gym 24/7, much like Kevin was, and he's a super competitive kid. You put the scoreboard on, and he's competing at another level in terms of really wanting to win and compete at a very high level. So he's a guy that we're counting on this year to have a big year and do big things in Austin.
All right, Longhorns head coach Rodney Terry. And there's a couple more things from him, and we're going to play those to you tomorrow because one is kind of a humorous moment on that. We'll do that tomorrow on the program. But we'll be back to wrap up today's program here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns play here. This week, join us for the game as the Longhorns take on Georgia, the only place for Longhorns football. Join us every week for Longhorns Game Day with Cameron Parker, Mike Hardball Harge, and Mark Henry 2 hours before the game. Then join the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way, for the game. The Longhorns play here. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
When we were in the broadcast booth in Dallas last Saturday calling the Texas OU game, we found out much to our chagrin that the television in the booth didn't work, which of course we used to view replays. Misfortune like that always makes me think of my friend Tom McKay and his great staff at Audiovisual Consultations and how they can remedy your home entertainment issues. Tom and his staff at AV Consultations are experts in helping you set up your home entertainment system. Whether you're watching baseball, football, or thinking about gearing up for the coming basketball season, AV Consultations has the equipment, technology, and expertise to help you set up your home theater, your man cave, your living room, den, whatever room you need, outfitted, set up the way you want it done within a budget that also works for you. Give Tom and his staff a call today at 512-255-8678 for more information. That's 512-255-8678, or you can find them on the web at avconsultations.com. Let Tom McKay at Audiovisual Consultations help you realize the home entertainment system of your dreams.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Shop's back! 50 years in the Lone Star State. A one-stop shop so you're never late. Price is so low that you want to know
which way to Specs.
Come on, let's go.
Specs Wine Spirits and Finer Foods. World-class service, that's all about you.
Shop Specs, it's how we do. A huge selection since 62. Shop Specs, low price, amazing. Here's to you.
Shop.
Cheers to savings.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you.
Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
At Hanna Chevrolet, we like to keep things simple. So the price we agree on is the exact price you pay. That means no bait and switches, no absurd additions, no mandatory dealer packages that are magically added at the finance table. At Henna, this can save you $3,000 to $5,000. Just straightforward, all-inclusive pricing, incredible customer service, and a vehicle you're going to love. So come in and together let's drive at Henna Chevrolet or Henna.com.
Hey, Texas fans, it's Friday, and you know what that means? It's time to kick back and crack open a cold Bud Light and get ready for some college football. Whether you're tailgating or walking around the state fair, the best way to enjoy those feel-good vibes is grabbing a Bud Light in your hand and college football on your mind. So raise your Bud Light, toast to the weekend, and let's make every Friday a feel-good Friday. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, must be 21, Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KBET AM Austin, AM 1300 The Zone. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports, podcasts, and music. It's the Morning Kickoff Show with Mike Hardball Harge and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. only on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone.
Getting ready to wrap this one up here. And what's your plan tonight? Watch football, watch baseball.
Get a lot of prep work done for Saturday's broadcast, Texas, Georgia, and also my high school broadcast all night. So.
I don't know if you get a chance to see it because they're in commercial break right now. They may come back, but we've got the baseball game on laptops in here. Stuff. And the reason why I bring this up is, all of the conversation and the grumbling that happened from Cowboys fans about the setting sun and the shaft of light going through the windows of the west side there at Jerry World. And the Cowboys kind of like it that way, or at least Jerry does, because it kind of evokes the images of the old days of Texas Stadium when you would have that late afternoon sunset thing. Except if you're trying to move the offense into it, and Dak Prescott and the offense went right into the teeth of that setting sun. The reason why I bring this up, I don't know if you get to see it, there's a similar thing happening in Cleveland where there's a shaft of light that comes right and creases and bisects home plate.
Oh, yeah, I do see it.
Yeah, and it was right on Giancarlo Stanton's butt when he was standing at the plate. Didn't bother him any, but he ended up making an out to end the inning. Now, for the left-handed hitters, it goes right into their face.
Yeah.
So that's what they're having to deal with right now with a big shaft of light. So Brian Rocchio is having to deal with that sunlight. He's very much illuminated in the light. Everything else is in the shadow there at Progressive Field. Chilly afternoon there. It is October baseball in New York and Cleveland. When he gets back to LA, of course, in LA, it's pretty temperature. It's in the 70s. It's not like it's in the 90s or anything like that. It's kind of like how it was here yesterday into today. So it's October baseball for sure. And the Guardians get a leadoff man aboard in the first, but they trail the Yankees 1-0. They have to win to really start to climb back in the series. That would make it at 2-1. And then, of course, tonight is game 4 of Dodgers Mets with Los Angeles leading New York 2-1. LA trying to get a commanding 3-1 lead in that one. Okay, tomorrow on the program, we'll hear some more from Stark from tonight's edition of Longhorn Weekly that you'll hear at 7 o'clock coming up here on the Zone. We will also hear some more from Vic Schaefer and also from Rodney Terry. Some of those SEC Media Day comments. There's a couple we holding back until tomorrow and let you hear some of those. Also, tomorrow, because it's Friday, you know what that means on Inconceivable, Cam?
Florida man.
Yeah, Florida man. You're a little delayed on that. You have to think about
I was thinking about how I wanted to phrase it.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, we've got that tomorrow as well. All right, for the producer, Cameron Parker, I'm Craig Way. We thank you for joining us. Inviting you to stay tuned. Covino and Rich, Fox Sports Radio up next. We will visit with you tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock right here. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.